frozen continent, a colossus of ice, Antarctica. A continent shrouded in ice, a land of breathtaking beauty and harsh extremes. This remote and desolate place is one of the most mysterious and least explored regions on our planet. This icy wilderness holds within its frozen grasp a staggering amount of Earth's freshwater, about 70% of it, locked away as ice. These colossal ice sheets and glaciers are ancient, some dating back millions of years, preserving a frozen history of our planet's climate. Imagine a frozen giant, twice the size of Australia, covered in an ice sheet averaging over a mile thick. This immense ice sheet is so heavy that it has actually depressed the land beneath it, creating a unique and dynamic landscape. This frozen reservoir plays a crucial role in our planet's delicate climate balance, reflecting sunlight back into space and regulating ocean currents. The albedo effect, where the bright ice surface reflects solar radiation, helps to keep our planet cool. But what if this frozen giant were to awaken? What if the ice that has remained stable for millennia began to melt at an unprecedented rate? What if, instead of slowly melting over centuries, all of Antarctica's ice melted suddenly? The sheer volume of water released would be unimaginable, causing sea levels to rise dramatically. The consequences would be nothing short of catastrophic, reshaping our world in ways we can only begin to fathom. Coastal cities would be submerged, displacing millions of people and causing widespread devastation. The delicate balance of our climate would be thrown into chaos, with far-reaching effects on weather patterns, ecosystems, and human societies. The awakening of this frozen giant is a scenario that underscores the urgent need to understand and address the impacts of climate change. The Great Melt unleashing the flood. The melting of Antarctica's ice wouldn't be a gentle thaw. It would be a dramatic and rapid transformation, a process that would unfold with alarming speed and intensity. It would be a cataclysmic event, unleashing a torrent of fresh water into the world's oceans. This isn't just a slow drip, but a deluge, a force of nature that would reshape coastlines and alter marine ecosystems. Picture trillions of tons of ice, melting at an unprecedented rate, pouring into the sea. The sheer volume of water released would be staggering, enough to raise sea levels significantly and inundate low-lying areas. This sudden influx of fresh water would disrupt the delicate balance of ocean currents, which play a vital role in regulating Earth's climate. These currents are like the planet's circulatory system, moving warm and cold water around the globe. These currents act like a giant conveyor belt, distributing heat around the globe. They ensure that tropical regions don't overheat and that polar regions don't become too cold. The addition of such a massive amount of fresh water would weaken these currents, throwing the entire system into disarray. The balance that has been maintained for millennia would be thrown off, leading to unpredictable and potentially devastating consequences. The consequences for global weather patterns would be severe. The stability we've come to rely on would be shattered, leading to more frequent and intense weather events. Imagine a world where storms become more intense, droughts more prolonged, and rainfall patterns completely unpredictable. The agricultural systems that feed billions could be thrown into chaos, leading to food shortages and economic instability. Coastal cities would face the brunt of this change, with rising sea levels leading to frequent flooding and forcing millions to evacuate their homes. The infrastructure of these cities, from roads to sewage systems, would be overwhelmed. Marine life would also be severely impacted. The influx of fresh water would alter the salinity of the oceans, affecting species that are sensitive to such changes. Coral reefs, already under threat from warming waters, would face additional stress, leading to widespread bleaching and die-offs. Scientists are working tirelessly to understand these processes and predict their impacts. Their research is crucial in helping us prepare for and mitigate the effects of this great melt. The solutions lie in reducing our carbon footprint, transitioning to renewable energy sources, and adopting sustainable practices. It's a race against time to protect our planet and future generations from the catastrophic consequences of climate change. But there is hope. Communities around the world are coming together to combat climate change, planting trees, reducing waste, and advocating for policies that protect our environment. Together, we can make a difference. Rising tides, cities adrift. As the ice melts, sea levels would rise at an alarming rate. Scientists estimate that if all of Antarctica's ice melted, global sea levels would rise by a staggering 200 feet. That's taller than the Statue of Liberty. Imagine entire coastal cities vanishing beneath the waves. New York, London, Shanghai, gone. Millions upon millions of people would be displaced, forced to flee their homes as the ocean reclaims the land. The economic and social costs would be immeasurable. The very fabric of our civilization, so reliant on coastal cities, would be torn apart. Climate chaos, a world unbalanced. The melting of Antarctica's ice wouldn't just affect sea levels, it would unleash a cascade of effects on the global climate, creating a world of unpredictable and extreme weather. The influx of fresh water into the oceans would disrupt ocean currents, altering heat distribution patterns across the globe. Regions that rely on these currents for warmth, like Northern Europe, could experience dramatic cooling. At the same time, other areas could see more extreme heat waves, droughts, and wildfires. Rainfall patterns would become erratic, leading to floods in some areas and severe droughts in others. Section 5. Nature's Reckoning: Life on the Brink. The impact on wildlife would be equally devastating. The sudden change in sea levels and ocean currents would disrupt marine ecosystems, threatening the survival of countless species. Coral reefs, already stressed by climate change, would face a double whammy of warmer waters and increased acidity, leading to widespread bleaching and death. Fish populations would plummet as their habitats are destroyed, impacting the livelihoods of millions who depend on fishing. On land, rising sea levels would inundate coastal habitats, displacing or killing countless animals. The delicate balance of nature would be thrown into chaos, with unpredictable consequences for the entire web of life. Section 6. A world adrift: Human displacement and migration. The human cost of this catastrophe would be unimaginable. Millions, if not billions, of people would be displaced from their homes as coastal cities are swallowed by the rising tides. This mass migration would lead to unprecedented challenges. Where would all these people go? How would we provide food, water, and shelter for such vast numbers? The strain on resources would be immense, potentially leading to conflicts over land, water, and other essential supplies. The social and political landscape of our world would be redrawn as nations grapple with the overwhelming task of accommodating millions of climate refugees. Section 7. Echoes in the ecosystem: Wildlife in peril. The natural world would face its own set of challenges. Polar bears, seals, and other creatures that depend on sea ice for hunting and breeding would lose their habitat, pushing them towards extinction. Rising sea levels would inundate nesting grounds for sea turtles and other coastal species, further threatening their survival. The delicate balance of ecosystems would be disrupted, leading to cascading effects throughout the food chain. The loss of biodiversity would not only be a tragedy in itself, but it would also have far-reaching consequences for the health of our planet and our own well-being. Section 8. Charting a new course: Mitigation and Adaptation. While the complete and sudden melting of Antarctica's ice is a hypothetical scenario, it serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of climate change. The good news is, we still have time to act. By transitioning away from fossil fuels, investing in renewable energy sources, and adopting sustainable practices, we can slow down the rate of global warming and mitigate the risks of such a catastrophic event. Along with mitigating climate change, we also need to adapt to the changes that are already underway. This includes investing in coastal defenses, developing drought-resistant crops, and finding innovative ways to manage water resources. Section 9. Our future on thin ice: A call to action. The stark reality of climate change is evident in the rapid melting of Antarctica's ice. The polar ice caps, once stable and majestic, are now breaking apart at an alarming rate. Icebergs that have stood for millennia are now succumbing to the relentless heat of the sun. The fate of Antarctica's ice, and indeed the fate of our planet, hangs in the balance. As we witness glaciers collapsing into the ocean and ice caps shrinking from a satellite's view, it becomes clear that our actions have far-reaching consequences. The time to act is now, before these changes become irreversible. The choices we make today will determine the course of our future. Every small action counts, from planting trees to cleaning our beaches and recycling. These efforts, though seemingly minor, collectively contribute to a larger movement towards environmental preservation. It is our responsibility to act now, to protect our planet for generations to come. Imagine a world where our children can still play in natural parks, hike through lush forests, and marvel at the beauty of our planet. This vision can only be realized if we take decisive action today. We can choose a path of sustainability where we live in harmony with nature. By embracing renewable energy sources like solar panels and wind turbines, and by cultivating urban gardens, we can reduce our carbon footprint and foster a healthier environment. Reducing our impact on the environment involves making conscious choices in our daily lives. Opting for electric cars, using reusable bags, and installing energy-efficient appliances are steps we can all take to contribute to a sustainable future, and transitioning to a cleaner, greener future. Imagine cities adorned with green roofs, community solar farms powering neighborhoods, and people biking to work. These are not just dreams, but achievable realities if we commit to change. Or we can continue down the current path, risking irreversible damage to our planet. The consequences of inaction are dire: industrial pollution, rampant deforestation, and rising sea levels leading to devastating floods. These images serve as a stark warning of what lies ahead if we do not change our ways. And jeopardizing the future of humanity, the choice is ours. Let us choose wisely. We must heed the concerns of those who look at the sea with worry, the parents who fear for their children's future, and the activists who tirelessly protest for climate action. Let us choose to act before it's too late. Together, we can make a difference. By supporting policies that protect the environment, participating in community efforts, and educating others about the importance of sustainability, we can ensure a brighter future for all. The time to act is now. Let us rise to the challenge and safeguard our planet for generations to come.